They're doing a lot of work to get legislation passed from the agency. The IRS will kind of make up their mind what kind of law this is. We have a bill, yeah, hopefully it passes. But in the meantime, and I think, this is my prediction, even if we have a contract with the agency bank, even if the agency bill passes, it will give some comfort to people, but a lot of people aren't familiar with how to use agencies. And you're not thinking the volume of patients that we think that might come in. It will be an argument to get them to be tax deductible and so forth. But my belief is that until employers in America don't adopt direct primary care as a standard health benefit, you're not going to see the volumes we need. Number one. Number two, the problem today in direct primary care amongst independent physicians is that if all of you were in direct primary care, each one of you would have different services and different fees. Yeah. Yes, please.
What kind of technology do you use in your office?
Oh, right. Yeah, good question. So, it's very important to choose an EHR system, especially for us, that will allow you to bill insurance patients as you have a hybrid model or Medicare, so you get all the coding right, but also be able to see direct primary care patients as well. We went through many. We went through an academic, we went through Practice Fusion. I know the founder very well. He's a friend of mine. We went through Practice Fusion. We went through Office Space. We did NPC billing. We did a lot of them. We did Avado. I even checked out Apple Assembly. And the one that we landed on wasn't InLight. And by the way, even though they're sponsoring this, I'm not getting paid for this, as you know. But InLight EHR was created by Amazing Charts. We like because, I know the representatives were after me for like 2 years to try to get to use it, and I'm so busy. But I finally did, and I actually like it. And I like it because it allows us to bill for hybrid patient visits. So if we can bill Medicare, we have Medicare patients, or doctors can bill insurance. The other thing is you can actually use it with direct primary care. And the way it works with direct primary care is a very nice problem-oriented approach. It's a very user-friendly EMR system. My wife is a main clinician in our practices. She did a dozen of them. And the one she likes the most, hands down, is InLight. So we like them so much, we have to sign a contract with them. We said, look, we like you so much. We should give our doctors discounts and promise to use this. And said, yeah. So InLight EHR actually helps our doctors start up from the ground up. It's really a good system. So we keep advising them on different ways they can improve it for our doctors and other doctors around as well. But that's important. That's technology we use for EHR right now. There's telemedicine technology you can use as well. We use a lot of online telemedicine portals. Doctor and Demand is one of our partners, but we're working on telemedicine technology we're going to use as well. That's the future.
Coverage, I got you. Cover Monday, Friday, business hour?
It depends. And it's a free country, right? So all the doctors are independent. You can practice 1 day a week, you can practice 7 days a week. It really depends on you.
Let's say I have my PPC patient and I only cover all day in the morning. They only can see me in the morning. Can they do that?
Sure.
So they come in afternoon, I'm seeing my other patient. So they understand that. It has to be.
That's up to you. All of these practices that I showed you are all independently owned. If you are one of our physicians, you set your own hours, you do your own thing, we'll give you some advice on how to juggle between regular patients and EPC patients. But it's all up to you how you want to see your patients, what you want to do this care. Because at the end of the day, it's your practice, it's your income. If you decide to only be there 1 day a week, you'll have less income and less access. Those patients may stop coming to you. They may go to this doctor who has 7 days a week access. So it really depends on your practice structure. Yeah.
Thanks so much. I think we'll take this one last question and then we'll get to transition to our panel.
So it sounds like you have a contract and they're almost out of EPC, not so much converted track.
I don't like the word convert because it takes it back to the days of concert medicine, where it's an all or nothing thing. Where you have to kick out all your patients that don't want to pay a fee, and then you take one to do. I can't stand that. I built a practice to take care of our patients. And just because you have insurance, you're not evil. Insurance is evil, not you. You're a patient, right? So you keep doing the practice. plus you want to get super abandoned. And then on top of that, you take in direct primary care patients who are willing to do. Is it a challenge? Yes. You have to find that balance between 30-minute visits here, 15-minute visits here. Well, I'm sure it's equal to my wife's practice, where we were hired at the very beginning. We treat all our post-pregnancy patients. Even our Medicare patients, our Blue Cross patients, everybody got to have it. Everybody got to telephone access to business hours. And I'll tell you what, most employed patients, employers, they are changing healthcare plans and changing shoes every year. They go for the lowest cost plan. The patient you have today, which is great insurance coverage, tomorrow we have none. Guess where there's a mistake? There's a mistake too. And so, if you give all of your patients the fantastic care that you want as a doctor, it's just good advertising for your practice. It's the way business should practice.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar.
Sure.
So let's give Dr. Kumar. So we're going to take a very short break just to transition to our panel discussion, which I'll introduce shortly. Feel free to have some coffee, and we have some other beverages in the back, and we'll be back with you in about 5 minutes. Thank you.
Why should we? We're buddies. We're all in this together.
We turn to the
Oh, it's recorded, but I just got the live stream. Yeah, it was terrible.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I was in how's the camera pan?
the cameras good. Like, all that stuff I knew the problem was the software. No, the camera.
Oh, we didn't see that part.
Folks could begin to take their seats, please.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. So thank you again for coming out. We're about to start our panel portion, where we'll hear from physicians who have adopted the direct primary care model here in Houston and get to know their experience in the model. Before I do that, I wanted to announce one of our event sponsors,
No, I've
which
already
is
done it.
Health. HIX offers membership management services for direct primary care, so you can manage cash services. We also have plans with Liberty Health for patients, and you can find out more about them at hinthealth.com. All right, so now I'd like to go into the panel and start by introducing our panelists. First, we have Dr. Itu Boyle, who is the owner of Our Way Health, which is a direct primary care practice founded here in Houston. Next, we have Dr. Amy Stringfellow, who is the owner and operator of Mile Post Medical, also here in Houston, Texas. In addition to direct primary care services, she offers services in sleep medicine. And then we have Dr. Samir Kumar, who we've heard about in our keynote, also here to share his experience about direct primary care practice. All right, so with the panel, first, I'd like to start with a question for you, Dr. Boyle. Can you tell us about your start and why you decided to do direct primary care and how your practice is so far?
I'm a specialist. I'm a pulmonary critical care rep, and what I have seen and what we all have seen is that most of the patients in the hospitals are there because of lack of good primary care outside. ICUs, you see it all the time. Hospitals doing pulmonary consults, you see it all the time. And like Samir was saying, our system is broken. And if there is to be a healthcare system, there has to be a good primary care system first. And then we can build a healthcare system, right? So for me, it was like, okay, if I'm going to put 30, 40 years of my life in a profession, I got to do something that fixes the profession. And then I had to start with primary care. So I kind of came back to do primary care after going to that specialty. And if I was to do primary care, DPC or direct primary care is the only thing that makes sense. There is no way I was going to do primary care under the traditional model, doing the insurance system. DPC is the future. DPC is the way we can revitalize primary care and really build a robust primary care system in the country. And so I was glad to join the movement, and I think it has a lot of potential in terms of innovation and really making our healthcare system great again. To quote Trump, I guess.
Came up to our primary care company from consumer running where right now. I was in an insurance-based practice. I've been for 5 years. And, after about the second year, I was starting to get frustrated and burnt out and just irrationally irritated with all the existing insurance and governmental regulations that were coming down the pipeline that kept interfering with my ability to have positions. And so, probably years into my current position, I started getting disgusted and about 4 years into it, I had been asked to serve about direct primary care radio show, and I came home from work one day and he said, "Hey, I found something that you really need to look at," and that kind of what started the whole process. I looked into it and I found kind of from a patient care standpoint, getting spend more time with patients from a professional happiness standpoint, personal satisfaction standpoint, in terms of my job satisfaction, and also from a business standpoint, it made a lot of sense as well. So, so that's how I came into my
I think you all work my stories. One thing I should add is what we do for our other doctors. I think that's important. So one is, we want you to remain independent. I think that's been lost. It's not only been lost in positions everywhere. And so
practicing, not have to food, we don't have to do direct with Medicare and all that. And so, I think that tends to overturn everything, and it's great. All of that is absolutely true. One of the things that I think Jeff communicated very well when we were actually talking about this before the talk is that opening a GP practice is a lot of work. It's hard. There's a lot of personal time and investment in the practice. And I personally think it's well worth it. I'm not necessarily saying that to discourage anyone, but you do have to go into a reasonable expectation that that it's definitely going to be a lot of work on your part to open and grow your practice. And so, having that expectation, I think I don't think I ever thought that it wasn't maybe hard. But I don't know that I knew exactly how difficult it was going to be, and so that's probably one thing that would have been a little bit nicer to have that expectation set. The other thing that's been fine for paying in some ways is the running the business side of things. We're doctors, we're not changing business, we're changing medicine, and so the business side of things is one of the reasons that I provide, from my standpoint. Although I was really lucky, my husband actually runs his own business, and he actually says he moves to the business stuff, for my practice. So having him that make things a lot easier, but definitely just sort of be aware of the two things when I get there, I think
So I'm in my 7th year of doing this now, and when I started this in California, there was not a single direct primary care practice in many states at the time. I was the first one in California. We were always afraid to pull my ring, like state insurance commissioner's office, they call us, what do you mean? So, 3 things. It's very hard. Number 2, our fee structure. And number 3, knowledge of insurance. Very hard, I'll echo Dr. Strickland's sentiments. It is extremely tough to be a doctor and be a salesperson at the same time. The length of time it takes to build a regular practice where you actually take insurance is also long. It takes a couple of years to get a full patient out. It's at least twice to 3 times that in direct primary care. You definitely have to have an entrepreneurial slant. I think I do. If you don't, it would have been great for me to get help in the beginning. There was nobody doing this in the country except for the Alliance, but they had $10 million and they weren't going to talk to me. I had to do this on my own, and so that was really tough. So I wish I had help, and I wish I had known that was that hard. The second thing is the fee structure. I think we started out with very high fees initially, because we thought, we multiply X number of patients with these fees, we're going to do great. But we realized it's not the case. It's we're actually competing with the insurance industry. And when you put direct primary care fees on top of catastrophic insurance plans, that together should compete with the local insurance plans. And we did it with 2 out prices, so we would lose every time. And so we learned that no, it's actually you have to price yourself a little bit less in order to do well. Unless you mix yourself up with the rock plans or the insurance plans, that makes sense. So that was the second thing which I needed. I would say it's about 3 years. And the third thing was the knowledge of insurance. Now, insurance is not the end of it, but it's well said in books that if you want to beat your competition, you better understand your competition very well. So I did everything I could to learn about insurance. And it is not easy. Insurance is a very complex beast. It rules this country's healthcare system. And it's very tough to understand what they do, why they do it. But it's important if you want to learn the incentives behind why the employer would choose an insurance plan over you. You have to beat them. You have to know how they operate. And that was very tough and unexpected. I went to medical school. I don't have an MBA. I don't have any insurance coders in medical school either, but you got to learn that. So I figured I could learn a little bit about insurance on my own and a little bit about business. But that was the toughest thing, to learn about insurance and compete with them. And the truth is, a lot of direct primary care advocates, I believe, wrongly chastise insurance. Insurance is a necessary evil, right? We need it for catastrophic needs. We still need it for primary care. The irony of this is that in the beginning, when I was going out, and I was quoted in Time magazine and so forth, or chastising insurance companies, I realized very quickly I can't, because I need to partner with them for catastrophic backgrounds. And if they don't like us from the very beginning, we're not going to be able to partner with them to sell our direct primary care either. So you have to have some knowledge of insurance and benefits and that stuff as well. But it's all worth it in the end. And it's a lot of work, but nothing good comes easy, I guess.
So at this point, I wanted to open the floor for questions. As in the last session, let's get us we'll get you a microphone so you can get your voice on the report.
Where's the other mic? It's up there. This one doesn't work.
Hello. I just recently learned about VPC not too long ago, and I've been doing my research. I have been in private practice for 3 years, and had I not known about this, I would have just have considered an alternate career choice. But what I'm trying to say is I'm very excited about this, but what are the disadvantages that you see? It sounds, and I know everyone's happy, and people that are doing primary care, direct primary care seems very, very well satisfied with what they do, but tell me the cons. It almost sounds too good to be true. And I'm trying to do a lot of work, like a lot of research on my own, but what are the negatives, what are the cons for you as a business person, as a physician, if there are any?
Well, there are. I'll do first. I'm like loaded, right? But then, it's very tough. We all went through that before. That's probably the biggest drawback. This is not an overnight thing. It'll take you several years to grow your DPC practice. You have to have viable income coming in to live off of. That's very important. In my case, I was lucky. I experimented on my wife's practice while I was working in concierge practice, so I had the income coming in from that side, number one. Number two, she was a hybrid model where we had money from insurance contracts as well. So that is a big downside. You will take a dip in your income if you don't set yourself up for some kind of alternative income source. The other downside is you're in business. Like Dr. Well said, this is a business like any other. And whether you're a bakery down the street, whether you're a car wash, whether you're a doctor's office, or a website company, every business would like to see patients out for customers out for the first day. But it doesn't happen that way. You have to market. And the thing is, in this field, nobody knows the best way to get these patients. We're all experimenting together. Some try Medicaid. I know Two Lines has done that. IRS trying to work with Medicare Advantage. Those are hard contracts to get. I can tell you, you have to have active Congress to help you with that. You cater to small employers, you cater to big employers, you do self-insured plans, you do individuals, high deductibles, you do folks who are self-insured, or no insurance. It's very tough. It takes a lot of effort in that experimentation process and resources while you're doing that. In doing that, you're going to give up a lot of family time. I can tell you, I've lost my hair and my hair's become more and more white every year since I've been doing this. I love doing this. So unless you have a passion for doing this and for solving the healthcare crisis in the country, don't get into it. It's a lot of stress. But you are in a much better position today to start the DPC practice than I was 6 or 7 years ago. There are resources, there are people who have done it, there are people like you're on the panel that will help you. It's a very nice camaraderie of doctors and healthcare providers that want to do something for our country that's going to be meaningful. So yes, there are going to be sacrifices, and it's not always a cakewalk, but there are challenges.
Yeah, so I think the community side and from what I mentioned earlier, the business side of things is definitely, the thing that doctors are trained for most of the time. And so, that's definitely a downside for a lot of us. It is complicated financially. So, you do have to kind of set line things up with the expectation that you're not going to be getting your regular paycheck for quite a while after starting the practice. Just my experience, we opened November 2014. I got my first very small paycheck in February of this year. So, I waited 14 months without a paycheck, and the pride my husband and I had everything lined up, and I had planned for that, so it wasn't unexpected. But it was tough. I mean, we definitely had to make sacrifices, and took one vacation, and so it's definitely a change in probably what your current lifestyle is now. Just staying up and going, like I was saying, nobody knows kind of what the best way is to do things for just primary care. There's not a set hard-based path that everyone can follow. There's things that work and there's things that haven't worked, but it varies from Murphy area to Murphy area. So it might have worked in the area, might not work here in Houston. And so kind of sorting through all that information and figuring out what is going to be effective, for your practice and what you want to spend your time and money on, and what you don't, is challenging.
I quickly want to touch upon just a separate, same cons. One con about the DPC movement that's usually brought up is that, look, if everybody is dropping patients, right, or everybody is moving to DPC concierge practice, we are already short on primary care doctors, right? Who's going to take care of all these people, right? So that is often being brought up by people who oppose the DPC movement, basically. But if you look at why we are short on primary care doctors, the biggest reason I feel like is students don't want to be primary care doctors anymore, right? They want to be specialists. Why? We pay specialists more. Procedures, surgeries get paid more. Spending time with the patient and counseling doesn't get paid, right? So DPC, by making it a pure independent business where you can grow, where you can set your fees, sort of brings back, I feel like, autonomy to primary care. Private practices can flourish again, and you get to practice the medicine you want to practice. So now we go travel around the conferences, you can see the excitement amongst the primary care physicians, amongst the medical students to be primary care doctors. And that is the only way I feel like we're gonna fix the primary care shortage crisis. We're not gonna fix it by shuffling money around, at the central level. Our students are gonna wanna have to become primary care doctors for us to fix this crisis.
My question is for Samira. I'm interested in expanding my knowledge about insurance. Where do I start?
Wow. So there are courses you can take depending on the state you're in. I know in Nevada, you can go on the state insurance commissioner's website. They'll tell you all of the legitimate courses you can take to take a test for health and life insurance. Start reading about that. But you don't have to do it that way. You can just get basic information from insurance companies themselves. They'll be happy to teach you about insurance. And they have all sorts of things on the individual mandate, on the employer mandate. You can look up the new healthcare laws and how it affects employers. I can tell you I've been studying it for about 3.5 years continuously. And it's a non-stop thing. So once you start though, it's not a lot of fun, but you have to work.
Well, we have to do it, because the insurance world has taken over the practice of medicine, and it doesn't really feel good.
Yep.
And I know that if some of us show interest and speak their language, that we can make some changes.
Do you take text messages, emails? Because I started out doing that. I think that my practice started out looking like a concierge for $57 a month, and it's about killing me. But I'm trying to figure out how to rein that in and how to, at the same time, grow my practice.
I do not take text messages. I do use email, and then I also have a patient portal with my email. And the patients can message me through, and then of course I take phone calls at home.
So we went with InLight, for our EHR, and InLight has a text messaging app that our patients download. So all our patients have a mobile communications app on their cell phones that they text us through. They can attach documents, we can attach documents, it's a HIPAA compliant app. So I do text messages. Our patients love it. That's the most commonly used communication form between us and our patients. However, I do have a nurse practitioner that works with me. If I had to do both the business side of things, the sales side of things, and take care of my patients, I needed help. So I pay a nurse practitioner to help manage some of the communication parts of things. But it's a primary care team now taking care of our members. It's 2 of us, including our office managers, 3 of us that make our team. And our members have access to all 3 of us through the text support. It makes my life way easier. And I'm hoping that that's the model that I can grow where there is, as a primary care, you are the leader and you have a nurse practitioner or a PA helping you out to most of the primary care.
So in my previous practice, when I was a concierge doctor, I texted, I FaceTimed, I did phone calls, I visited, made house calls. I included a couple of patients to their vacation homes. That was weird. Staying in the next room, but I've done that. I've done everything. We tried not to duplicate that in the DPC practice. And the reason for that is very simple. When you eventually get 600 or 700 patients, and you will, it'll take a long time, it'll happen, you are going to be smart. And communication is so easy now. Somebody was sitting there with their hands at home watching TV, and I think I should type it up. I saw this on TV, what do you think? And they do. And you know what's fun? This is a pharmaceutical commercial, right? You're like, ask your doctor, this is good for you. And you're like, okay, let me ask. That happened to me a lot. And I got tired of it. And I had a lot of patients. And so we stopped that. I learned you have to manage expectations. Pretty much everything. And this is very important. When I started brand new, we had 0 patients in my wife's practice. And, you know, the receptionist would say, hey, we have a patient today. Yeah, okay, cool. Should I schedule for 2 hours? Yeah. And we said, no, you schedule for 30 minutes. You have to train them from the very beginning, and that's what we're going to get. Because eventually, when you do get 600 patients, and you say, well, sorry, you're not going to get 2 hours, we're going to get half an hour. Like, oh, well, you know, this is horrible. What do you think? You want to set your expectations. So we don't do text because we anticipate many patients coming in. And we have doctors who have hybrid practices. Many of them take Medicare, they take Medicaid, they take insurance, number one. Number two, we want to manage expectations. I know technology very well. I know it's going to even increase faster. Pretty soon it's going to think tactics and go to the doctor. We can't do that. We have to have a life of our own. And one of the reasons I left concierge medicine is that I'm always on call 24/7 for my patients. I couldn't take a vacation. I went to my brother's wedding in Mauritius. It's a beautiful island, by the way, near South Africa. And I took a satellite phone with me because my patients had to be able to reach me by contract. I went to Machu Picchu and I trekked the Andes for my 40th birthday 4 years ago. And I had to make sure I had service on the mountain in case the patient needed it. Because another downfall of DPC is that if you're the only DPC doctor in town, so it's very hard to find call coverage. You don't sync up with other people's models. So we don't text. There are fantastic ways to do it. InLight EHR, which is what my wife's practice uses, and we're pushing it across all midline practices. It's a fantastic texting app. If you will use it, I will highly advise you what Dr. Wells doing is have a support staff and a team approach to doing the texting. But if it's just you, you're going to get charged.
So you're not on access 24/7 for them with this DPC model? Because that's
no way. I have a life.
Okay.
I want to sleep.
Well, then tell us, what the access is specifically and when you
That's what I've seen when I look online.
You know, I think the beauty of DPC is that you do what you are comfortable doing, right? DPC is not a cookie cutter approach, right? It is, you practice the way you want to practice. And like Samir said, you have to educate your patients about what to text you for, right? Like one guy in my practice, he's texting me at 9:30 p.m. one day, my roommate's son has scabies, what can you advise? Right? So next day we talked to him and said, look, this is a privilege that we are giving you to access for only certain reasons, especially when it's after hours. Do not misuse it, right? Especially if you are paying, $50 a month. So you have to kind of manage the expectations. And most of the people understand that. But I think really you still have the freedom to say, look, you are misusing it, I have met with you 3 times, this may not work for us if you keep misusing it. So texting is great for members. Some people love it, and for the most part, they use it properly. But there's an education component that has to happen. But you do what you want to do. That's the best part about the DPC practice.
I have another
I do
question.
want to add a quick comment. I mean, our doctors are required to be on call for their patients, not for safety questions, but so I'll share with you, we use a system called Grasshopper at our office, which is a very famous bought system recently. Probably used it. It's really cool. You can set up all these cool extensions and everything else, but if you leave a voicemail, it gets dictated and transcribed and sent to your email. So, it's all about training the patients from the very beginning. So you can tell them in the voicemail, I'm sorry, our office is now closed. You reach your doctor after hours. If this is a medical emergency, call 911. If this is an urgent medical issue, you cannot wait until the morning. Please leave a message at the phone and go back. And so we have a system where we call forwards to my wife, right? And it's not like regular practice, right? Where you're only spending 10 minutes with the patient, and the patient forgot about all the questions they wanted to ask. So if there's an emergency at night, now they call you at 2 o'clock in the morning. And DPC, you're spending up to an hour sometimes with patients. Half an hour, exhausting all their questions, all their concerns. They actually respect you after hours when they know you're going to be the one answering the phone. So they really don't call after hours unless it's really an emergency. I mean, if I got a scabies got a call from a roommate at 9 o'clock, and I probably ignored it, call back the next morning, or I think what they did. But if I got, I think I had a chest pain, I might be having a heart attack, you bet we're gonna get done on it. And we say, look, you should have called the ER or the 911. So we are on call for our patients. And it's also our job during clinic hours to teach our patients signs and symptoms based on their condition that might be mandate a 911 call or a call to us. But we are on call for our patients pretty much 24/7, like all doctors are, I guess, unless you have call.
I have another question. So this wouldn't apply to the PPO patients, but if you have an HMO patient and you're not their primary care, like on their card, right? And you need to refer them elsewhere to a specialist. How do those patients that are in your DPC practice go about that? Do you say, oh, go to your, regular primary care and tell him I said that you need to go to cardiology? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah. So there are many different populations we can use that example with. If the patient has an HMO and they come to you, and we have patients like that, they come to you as an DPC doctor because they can't get access to their own HMO docs. They like for better access. If that happens and they need a specialist, yes, they have to go through the system of their HMO and go back to the HMO's primary care physician to get the referral. It helps if you write a note to the other primary care doc and say, look, I'm not competing with you here, I just want to let you know that I also take care of your patient. This is what we've found. What do you think? And you can use a team-based approach, even though you're not part of the HMO system. That's HMO. If it's a PPO situation, if the patient has insurance beyond direct primary care, you send that patient to whomever the patient's insurance plan is. And so that's easy. That's what you always do. If a patient has no insurance, there are certain segment of patients who decide not to follow the ACA. They don't want anything, or they can't afford it. What do? They have nothing beyond primary care. So at least at MedLion, what we do is we call around. We have a network of specialists we have chosen in every city we're in that offer our MedLion patients cash pay discounts or whatever the lowest fee is for that specialty. We vet them out, make sure the reports are valid and all that. And our patients, if they need a cardiologist, say a stress test, we know exactly where to send them. If we don't yet know where they might go, because we're new in that town, that's what our office does. We call around every single cardiologist and ask them how much they charge for a self-paying patient for a stress test. And by the way, they more patients with us. And so they give us a very nice discount, and then we tell our patients. So it's our job to advocate for our patients and find low rates. We're about to join a patient advocacy group. We haven't paid for it out of pocket at MedLion. MedLion will bear the cost. But it's a service for our patients to be able to call in an 800 number and say, hi, I live in Houston. Where's the most affordable stress test I can go to?
Right.
And they'll do the research for you and get that information across. So that's
Thank you.
I was just add one thing with regard to the HMO patient. What I've done, I have a couple of friends that are in functional insurance practice that take HMO plans, and what I'm doing, I've actually joined them and said, hey, if I have a primary care patient with insurance that, I need to put in a PCP for them, would you be willing to work with me in helping me take care of this patient? And they both said yes, and basically, we coordinate together for the things that I can't deliver for them, for the patient's need and then.
She is.
One last thing.
I think she is.
So I guess my concern is, as this new concept is new to me, right? With the state of Texas doing away with all the PPO and the affordable care, I mean, how do you market to the people who are, to everybody else to join your DPC? Like, where would I put my money in terms of, is it marketing or is it like word of mouth? What is it that I need to do, or how would you recommend to go about this?
So you'll get two different answers here. My other two colleagues run their own DPC practices. They'll give you what they do. MedLion, one of our value propositions to doctors to join our network is that we do that for you. So you can practice medicine. We are the ones who send our agents into the field to learn the insurance laws, learn the insurance landscape for the city, like Houston in this case, and then sell to local employers competing with whatever insurance plans exist in this area. For instance, I don't know what the prevalent health insurance plan is for hospital admissions, But we would have to know that when we create a wraparound. We do with, say, United. And United's not many plans here. It doesn't make any difference. We have to do what's accepted. And so we create wraparounds based on the local landscape. So we do that, and we let you keep practicing. Seeing your Medicare patients, seeing your Blue Cross patients. While that's happening, we go out into the field and we do all the work. That's how we market. In my own wife's practice, we used to do everything from billboards. I was on billboard. I didn't put my structure, thank God, but we put other ads on billboards that were on 24 hours. We did TV ads, we did radio ads, we did yellow pages, we did newspaper articles, we did full page ads in the newspaper and local magazines, and we put that in everything with advertising. I could really talk a lot about that. And in the end, we found out the fastest way for us to grow is to go to employers. It's a very hard way to do it because you have to understand the insurance landscape. You have to hire people to do it for you. But that's for us the most efficient way at this time. That's what we do.
So I was with United and started my practice. I went, as I mentioned, into a great practice that I kind of realized that was efficient and all that. And I moved basically from my practice.
Your mic,
I was able to bring about 10% of my patients with me. And then from there, I moved over and immediate open, word of mouth, and asking my health patient, to spread the word and share the TPC concept and things were happening, and many of them were happening that has stayed with me for about 20 months now, and at this point we are looking at trying to do for web-based marketing. So we haven't really had much experience with that as of right now. We're just starting that, but we haven't done anything today.
Where are you based out of? Are you Eastern?
I'm in Channel B.
I think it's all very local. Every local community, every local area is unique. So the marketing ideas and how to grow that has to be locally kind of studied and see what you have in the area. I mean, as much as telemedicine, we try to promote, and try to get farther, I guess, our reach as a clinic, you are still limited to what's in the area for the most part, especially when you're going to employers and stuff, right? So if you are a physician and you don't have much experience of marketing and business and stuff, and which most of the physicians don't, right? So I think options like Samir's network is a great option, because you're getting, and it's not charging you anything, he's basically saying, look, let me bring the patients to you, I'll deal with everything, you just practice medicine. So I think it's a great way to do it. There are franchise models out there as well. I know of one in Texas called Miami Select. Dr. Jeremy Smith, he has about 3 clinics in different cities. So he brings, and I know he personally works with a lot of self-insured employers, TPAs in Texas. So there are ways to partner with networks of other EPC physicians, which will take the marketing load off of your plate at least, so you can. But again, you have to get out of the community and show your face to local community leaders and business owners to make it work.
I guess where my mentor in this process have been 2 people. One of them is Dr. Stringfellow, but in my contract it says I can't solicit any patients, and I have a large panel of patients, and I don't know if it's or if my lawyer missed it, but I signed to that contract, so I don't know to an extent how enforceable that is, because I won't be competing directly with my employer, because this is a new model, and I won't be practicing in Channelview. I plan to move a little north. I guess I would have a hard time telling my patients, they know I'm leaving, but I just can't tell them where or what my plans are. So I'm kind of like, I'm leaving, but my mouth is shut.
Sure. So one option, there are people out there who specialize in practice practice conversions and even for situations like yours. So there might be a couple of consultants that are familiar with the model that you might reach out to give you specific advice on what you might do given your contract. We want to be respectful of everyone's time today. We can take one last question before we get ready to close.
This may have come up before, but if you run a hybrid model, like you have regular patients and you're doing a DTC, do you schedule all together? Do you have separate times for DTC, certain days, or what's the best way to handle that?
I don't have a
Yeah, I don't know.
I have 300 cookies. So here's why. Here's the logic behind why we do the hybrid model. First, it's important. It's very hard to grow this DTC network. And I mean, my colleagues are trying. They're very brave. We tried it, and we weren't brave enough. It got to the point where it was very financially difficult for us to maintain that, and we realized that, you know, as much as we believe it's the right model, it's not what we think, it's what the market thinks. And the market is going to say, I want to use my insurance. So we always talk about those who have no insurance or have less insurance. The truth is, most of the country has insurance, or other person has insurance, and they want to use primary care with it. So we decided to open it up to hybrid approaches because we feel that it's necessary, but not